If you're thinking about moving to Las Vegas, then stop scrolling, because this video is going to save you time, money, and stress, because I'm going to break down everything you need to know before moving to Las Vegas and making it a much easier and smoother process when you do move here. I'm going to cover neighborhoods, schools, lifestyle, cost of living, and lots of things many newcomers wish they would have known before they actually moved here. So stick around, because I think this one is going to be very helpful for you. If you didn't know already, then my name is Peter Benedicto. I'm a local realtor here in Las Vegas with eXp Realty, and I've helped loads of families, loads of people, over 100 at this point, relocate here. So I know everything that goes into relocation and making that move smooth and easy and enjoyable in some aspects. So if you would like the process to be a lot easier, then do reach out to me on those contact details below, and I would love to have the opportunity to work with you or even have a conversation and see if it is going to be a right fit for you. But anyway, let's jump into the first point now. Okay, so before we unpack some of the real important stuff, I think we should touch on why people are actually moving to Las Vegas. I think that's always important, as some of these reasons are going to resonate with you. And the first one will be the cost of living. A lot of people move here because the cost of living where they are living is a lot higher than what it is in Las Vegas or Henderson. If you look at the fact that we have no state income tax alone, that can be a huge saving. But also in general, things like our property tax is also lower. In fact, the only thing that is really a little bit higher here is going to be your sales tax. Again, maybe depending on where you're moving from, actually might not be too bad, but it's around about 8.8% here. And in general, just the cost of goods doesn't seem so bad here compared to other places. If you're moving from California, the East Coast, the Pacific Northwest, then if you're on the same income, you're definitely going to see more disposable income coming your way, and that definitely brings a lot of people here. Then you also have the job growth in some of the markets we have. Obviously hospitality, everybody knows about, but also our tech industry is really getting big. We're starting to attract a lot of smaller tech companies from Silicon Valley. It only takes that one big fish before it really does explode. So the tech industry, the medical industry is also really expanding here. There's lots of new medical facilities. I recently helped someone move here who opened up a new medical teaching school over in Summerlin. So the medical industry is also expanding here. And really, depending on what your lifestyle is and what your job is, you can definitely find a career here. But one of the things that's really good about Nevada is it's very business friendly. So if you're entrepreneurial and wanting to set up a business, that also brings a lot of people here as well, because they enjoy some of the benefits you get from setting up a business here as well. So that's definitely going to be another reason that people move here. Also the weather. A lot of people move from colder areas where they're shoveling snow in the winter, or maybe humidity is high in the summer, and they don't want to deal with that anymore. They're sick of it. And Vegas does present a really good option weather-wise. Once you can get over those hot summers, our winters are really mild. We're in November now and it's still in the 70s. So those reasons alone are what bring a lot of people here to begin with. Now let's start unpacking some of the other stuff. Okay, so let's now move on to where are people moving to. And I'm not going to typecast, I'm not allowed to steer, but I'm going to talk on average as well on some of these communities. So if I start with the families, where are most of the families that are moving here? What communities are they moving to? Number one is going to be Inspirada, where I lived. It's perfect for families. It's got everything you would need: great schools, great parks, lots of outdoor areas to enjoy together, great community feel. It feels really safe. You don't feel really part of everything going on in Vegas, even though you can see the strip in the distance. So that's always been a solid choice for families. Across the other side of Henderson, Cadence has a similar vibe to Inspirada. The schools from a public side might let it down, and there are some great charter schools in Cadence that could provide a good option as well. Again, they're really great outdoor spaces. Central Park is a 50-acre park that you can enjoy in Cadence, the hub of the community, and I've helped lots of families move there and they've all enjoyed it as well. And then you have Sky Canyon up in the northwest. Again, similar sort of vibe. The main difference with Sky Canyon is every community is gated, so you don't feel as much maybe part of a wider community, but certainly within your gate, you're definitely going to have your own little community going on in there as well. For professionals and commuters, a lot of those are going to be moving to areas like Summerlin, which is no surprise. It's one of the most popular communities that a lot of people start thinking about when they move to Las Vegas. Green Valley Ranch as well is also going to be one that brings a lot of those professionals. Really gorgeous homes in Green Valley Ranch. The district is on your doorstep as well. great access to the 215 to get around the rest of the Vegas Valley. And then Seven Hills as well, especially sitting on the Rio Seca golf course, is going to be an amazing one for those professionals as well, and always holds its value over there in Seven Hills. Some of the best sunsets actually come from the Seven Hills community, so that's a little sneaky tip for you there. Even if you don't live there, if you can catch a sunset from over in Seven Hills, it is beautiful. And then for the retirees, I get quite a lot of retirees reaching out to me. A lot of those move to Sun City. If they are looking for 55 plus communities, then the Sun Cities always remain popular. We have one in Anthem, we have one in Summerlin, which are the two most popular ones. Summerlin is quite huge. Anthem is a bit smaller, which is always good. There's also Trilogy. There's a Trilogy in Summerlin and a Trilogy up in the Northwest at Sunstone. There's Heritage over at Cadence as well. And then you have Del Webb over at Lake Las Vegas. So plenty of good options. I'd say it's going to be good to check out those ones if you're looking at 55 plus communities and see the feel, maybe speak to some of the people that are living there. I mean, every time I speak to someone in a 55 plus community, they always love it. I don't know if some of the residents get paid a commission to help people move there, because they are really good at selling it, even though they're just a resident, they're not part of a sales team. They just really embrace what the community is about. I often come back from showing homes in one of those communities and I say to my wife, you know, when we're at that age, I think we could move to this community because it just has a really nice feel about it. So definitely, you know, if you want to, we can always go and check them out together, or I can set you on a little drive-in tour and you can do it in your own time. And that goes for any of these communities. I'm only going to give you a high level view, but it's always important, if you can, to take the time to come and visit, drive these communities yourself, get a feel for them, get your feet on the ground. I can help you, I can come with you, or I can set you up on a self-guided driving tour so you get a flavor of all of these communities, because that's going to be the number one way you're going to know if a community is right for you. The home can be beautiful, it can have the white picket fence, it can have the best curb appeal. If the community doesn't feel right for you though, there's just really no point buying a home there. Next thing is really going to be, you know, you've obviously picked your reason that you're going to be moving here. That's resonated with you. You've chosen your neighborhood. What's the housing market actually like? And that's always a good question I cover quite a lot on my calls, is when we get through all the exciting stuff, I normally get asked, Peter, what's the local market like? Or even if I haven't spoke to one of my leads in a while, one of my clients in a while, they'll ask me, Peter, what's going on locally? So I'm going to give you a snapshot as of now when I'm filming this. This is obviously November 2025, but as of right now, the average price of a home, all single family condo townhome, is around about the 470,000 mark in Las Vegas. Slightly higher in Henderson. You're going to be looking at 490 in Henderson. If you're looking at single family homes specifically, then they're going to be in the 500s for both Las Vegas and Henderson. And again, Henderson is going to be slightly higher. Inventory rates though rising at the moment. We're coming towards the end of the year and the market has slowed down a little. Now the caveat to that is if homes are priced correctly to begin with, maybe they're vacant so access is easy and the photos look amazing, those homes are still selling pretty quickly. I've seen homes listed for less than 7 days go under contract and close, but there are also homes that have sat there for a while, maybe since summer. So we do have good inventory now. As a buyer, that gives you a much stronger negotiating and a stronger position to be in when it comes to asking for, whether it's a price reduction, whether it's a credit from the seller to help cover maybe buying your rate down, or, you know, covering your closing costs, or, you know, buyers are also getting repairs included, a lot more repairs than what were being included before, where sellers could maybe go, I'm not going to cover that. And so it gives you a bit more freedom. More inventory gives you more chance to choose the home that you want rather than having a smaller inventory pool to pick from, and also gives you a stronger negotiating to get the ideal terms that you want. Now, if you have a good realtor like myself, and again, I'd love the opportunity to work with you, my details are there on the screen, then we can look after that for you and make sure, you know, you're in the best position to get the best price on the best terms. That's going to make it all over a better position for you to be in. New construction homes as well, those builders are offering really good incentives in terms of the rates that they're offering. I've seen rates as low as 3.9%, and then you've also got them covering your closing costs, maybe giving you a a design center credit for covering some of the upgrades, maybe giving you half off some of those upgrades. And that's because we're coming towards the end of the year and the builders want to get as much sold as they can now and not rolling it into the new year. And then HOAs is always a hot topic as well. And, you know, make sure you got a good realtor again to go through the HOA with you. And the CCNRs is going to be very important to read when you get that. If you do go under contract in a home that's in a HOA community, and some of the fees can range from maybe around $30 a month up to, you know, more than $1,000 a month if you're in a guard gated community and you're in a condo in one of those communities. Then it can definitely get quite pricey. But also, aside from the cost of the HOA, look at what they have a say over and some of the things that they can dictate to you as a homeowner. A lot of them are not bullies, but there are some that maybe take it a little bit too far. We've been lucky here with our one in Inspirada. The only ding I've had from the HOA is from some weeds that were growing. That was an easy fix, but I have heard of other communities and other homeowners that have had nightmare HOAs to deal with. One of our close friends had a townhome community in Henderson, and they were telling me from the minute they moved in there, the HOA has been a nightmare to deal with. Thankfully, they sold their home and they've moved into a nicer home in a nicer community, but some HOAs can be a real headache, and that's again why you need a good realtor to help you avoid those sort of pain points as well. So definitely, as I said, reach out to me and I'd love to have those conversations with you. Okay, so let's have a little cost of living snapshot. Now, if you want a more in-depth view of a cost of living in Las Vegas as of now, then look out for my cost of living in Las Vegas video, and that will cover this in a lot more detail. But I'm just going to give you a high-end snapshot because this is a guide to help you with relocating, and then check that one out if you need. But in general, living in Las Vegas is still going to be a lot less than some of those coastal cities that are going to be more expensive. Maybe some of those cities and states in the south as well. We're definitely going to be a lot less on those. And we have no state income tax. That's the big one that everyone mentions, and we're one of the few states that has that. Our property taxes as well are really low compared to a lot of other places at 0.5%. And there is also a cap on your property tax that it can't increase more than 3%. If it is your primary residence, that is. Now, if it is a commercial, or if it is something that you've got as an investment, then that cap doesn't necessarily apply. But if it is your primary resident, it can only go up by 3% maximum per year, which also helps keep the property tax lower. In terms of energy, our energy costs can get obviously higher in the summer, especially if you have AC going. And then in the winter it flips and you're going to be using more gas to maybe keep the house warm in the winter. So our gas and groceries are comparable to the national average. Our energy costs, depending on what you've got going in your home, if you've got a pool, if you've got a huge house, if you've got lots of usage, then maybe it could be quite expensive. Before we had solar on our home, and you know, solar would be good if you can get solar. I can hook you up with a really good company locally that can help you out with that, and that's one way you can control your energy bill. But before we got solar, we have a 4-bedroom home, just over 2,000 square feet. Obviously, we have 5 kids. My brother-in-law visits. You know, during the summer, the kids were on TVs, devices. Me and my wife work from home. So we have a lot of energy usage. And our bill was no more than $280 most in the summer, which was when it would have been at its highest. Now, obviously, solar in the long run is going to bring that down even more. But that isn't, I've heard people saying, oh, I heard it was in the thousands and I was paying $900 a month on my energy bill. And I can only say from my own experience of what a real life is with us, it definitely hasn't even tipped $300 when we had it during the summer. And then, as I said, gas and groceries do compare. I speak to a lot of people from California because we have a lot of people moving from California. And after a year or two, they've calculated they saved maybe $10,000 to $15,000 a year in terms of what their expenses were, cost of living wise, compared to California to here. So that's a good sort of amount that's in your back pocket, and we can always discuss it on the phone call and we can, you know, compare it to where you're moving from. But in general, cost of living here is a lot more doable for what you get compared to a lot of other places. Okay, so let's move on to school and education options, which is always a hot topic for families moving here. And I can say personally, obviously my wife was already here and I knew I was going to be moving here. When I looked at the school district here, the Clark County School District, and saw how poorly it's ranked, it's like 49 out of 50 in the whole country, alarm bells were ringing. So I don't blame you if you're thinking the same, if you're thinking everything else sounds perfect, but I've got kids, I don't want them to be in a bad school system. And I know people who have moved out of Vegas to move to a different school system to other states, and that was their primary driver. So I'm not going to shy away from the fact that our school district is, as a whole, ranked poorly. It is one of the largest. It has over 300,000 students. It's the 5th largest in the country. And with that, you're going to have a mixed performance. You're going to have a mixed bag of results. And some of those schools, when you're looking at averages, are going to bring them down. If you look at Henderson, Summerlin, and Boulder City separately, those schools, I believe, would rank highly amongst some of the best districts in the country. It's just the fact it is a large district, it does bring it down. If you are not wanting to go the public route, then there are other options. We have some really great charter schools and magnet schools. You know, we have Pinecrest, we have Coral, we have Doral. We have some really good public schools like Bishop Gorman over in Summerlin, which is one of the best private schools, in the whole country. Really great programs there. And then there is also a big homeschooling community. Actually, my next door neighbor is an operator of a community of homeschoolers here in Inspirada. We are personally going to homeschool our youngest from next year when she starts kindergarten. So there's a big homeschooling community here as well that you could tap into if that's the route you want to go to. I'm a big fan of homeschooling and having that control over what our kids learn. So, you know, if you want to talk more about that, then definitely get in touch with me as well, because I think education is very important, especially in the formative years and the younger years. Very important. So I can understand any parents out there thinking maybe it's not the right move for that reason. But I would say look at the bigger picture. There are some amazing schools from a public perspective as well. Some of the ones in Henderson, if we're looking at elementary schools, you've got Vanderburg, you've got Greenspuns Middle School, you got Ellis Elementary, Liberty High, Coronado, Green Valley High School. So you got some really good schools to choose from. But that's where you need to check when you are looking at communities, that the homes you're looking at are going to be zoned for the school that you want to be in. And it becomes very, very important when sometimes a community that you fall in love with is zoned for 2 different schools, especially at an elementary level, and then you don't get the school that you want. So definitely do reach out to me, and I'd love to have those conversations about schooling with you. So another thing to know about living here is the lifestyle and daily living. And I mean, one of the first things obviously is that we are the entertainment capital of the world. There's an endless amount of entertainment to go and check out if you want to around the strip and some off strip as well. There's some great places to go for shows. If you know, we love shows, that's our thing. We love going for a show and a meal. So that's, if you want some good shows, or if you have some good show recommendations, put them in the comments below. But we're spoiled here. You have lots of music concerts and a lot of headlining acts. Quite often will either have a residency here, or they will obviously stop here on their tour across the US as well, between the Allegiant and some of our other stadiums. We've got some great places there as well. And then we have a whole host of casinos, whether they're local or strip, nightclubs, bars, restaurants, comedy shows as well. So whatever your form of entertainment is going to definitely have a place here. There's also we're a really big sports town now. So if you're into sports, the sports scene in Vegas is growing massively. We have the Raiders, which never seem to do really well. We have the Golden Knights hockey team, which are the opposite. They've done really, really well to win a Stanley Cup. We've got the Aces, the women's basketball team, who obviously won a WNBA, which was amazing. I think they won it, maybe won it twice in a row, but they definitely won it once. We have the baseball team coming here as well, so that's scheduled soon. There's always been talks of a basketball team coming here as well, which would be fantastic to have NBA here. I know when they've done a few one-off exhibition games, it's always been a huge crowd, always been a sellout. There's always been talks of an MLS soccer team coming here, which I would love. I'd love to have an MLS level soccer team here to go and check out and have it as my adopted US soccer team. We always have big events from UFC, boxing as well that goes on here. I know recently Manny Pacquiao had a big fight here, and it was huge. It was a massive sellout as well. So always different sporting events to go and see, which is fantastic, having that on your doorstep as well. And then aside from those things, just being out and in the nature is sometimes underrated in Vegas. A lot of people focus on the casinos and the entertainment, but I think some of the nature here is amazing. You got Red Rock at the National Conservation Area over there, and the whole Red Rock, you can go and do some hikes. There's some moderate ones, some really big ones. If you don't want to walk, you can just do the little trail in your car and stop off at the various little points where you can take little pictures. Mount Charleston is a great place to go and escape the heat, or in the winter there's going to be some snow that you can snowboard and make snowmen and snow angels and all of that type of thing as well. We have Lake Mead, which, although the water levels were rising, is still a great place to go on a boat and enjoy some, lake living, or being on the lake and the still of the water. Your local area is going to have lots of parks and walking trails to go and enjoy as a family. We love going to the parks and playing in the playgrounds and the splash pads. So all in all, I think the lifestyle here is very great. You're going to have things like community events like farmers markets that go on, and even if you're not part of that community, Inspirada, Sky Canyon, Summerlin, Green Valley all have various different farmers markets. All of the communities will have different events that go on during the year, whether it's pumpkin patches, whether it's parades in Summerlin. Water Street in Henderson also has parades. There's always lots to do, and those are the things that are maybe going to play into your daily activities as well. And then there's a whole host of restaurants and coffee places to go and check out as well. Lots of new stores opening up if you like shopping and fashion. It's just a great place to call home, and for me, I feel we're very fortunate to call this place home. Okay, let me give you some good takeaway tips that you can actually put into action, and I'd love to work with you, but even if you work with a different agent, at least you can put these tips into practice. And one of the first things I would say is visit during summer and visit during winter. If you're not in a rush, if you don't need to buy in the next 30 days, try and visit here during those 2 seasons and see what it actually is like. If you've been here on a vacation in those times, it's not necessarily the same as when you're living here. You're going to be spending a lot of time in and out of casinos as opposed to actually what your daily life would be. So come and visit in July and August, and then maybe visit in December or January and see how those are. We don't have 4 distinct seasons, but we definitely have a hot season and a cooler season. I wouldn't quite call it cold, but it definitely is a cooler season. And then obviously while you're here, go and drive the communities that are at the moment on the top of your mind as well, and see what they are like during the seasons, how they are, if there's lots of people out, what the scenery is like during winter as opposed to summer, and then you can really start feeling if it is going to work with you. I'd also say work with a good local agent as well. If that's me and you want to work with me, then I would love that opportunity. But even if it's not me, make sure you're working with a good local agent who can really help you with discussing what the different neighborhoods are like before you get to view them, discussing and actually actively listening to what's important to you, and being able to recommend really good communities and neighborhoods that are going to work, giving you updates on what's going on a monthly basis here as well, so you can try and maybe time it that's going to work with you as well. And also get pre-approved from a local, at least a Nevada based lender. It's going to make your offer look stronger. I know a lot of people have affinity with their bank or their credit union or some financial person they've been linked with before, but if you can have a local lender, it always makes your offer stand out. Quite often the listing agent will already know the lender and who the lender is, and it just adds a little bit more strength to that offer as well. And then join some local Facebook groups and plug into the communities that you're actually thinking about and actually get an idea. And the Inspirada group is very active, and it isn't always positive things that are shared on there. It's an actual real group that shares real issues as well. And whatever community you're thinking about, you can join, and a lot of them will let you join even if you're not living there. If you say you're actively moving there, they'll let you join, and you'll get an idea about what people are like, what the type of people are like, what the type of complaints are like, and if that's going to be somewhere that you can call home as well. And hopefully those tips alone are going to be worth watching this video for, and you can put those into practice, as I said. So we've covered a lot in this video, and I really hope it's been helpful for you and you've had some key takeaways from it. We've covered obviously why people move here. We've covered the market at the moment, the cost of living, the lifestyle, the schools, and everything else in between. If you have found this video useful, then please give me a like. Also drop a comment and let me know which of those points is most important to you. And if you haven't already, then please do subscribe. I'm trying to chase down 3,000 subscribers. It's my next landmark. So if you can help me get there, I'll be eternally grateful. If you are looking for a good local agent and someone who you want on your side and being able to help you with the process of relocating, then I would love that opportunity to at least have a conversation with you and see if you are a right fit and if I'm a right fit for you. Then please do reach out. My details are all here. You can call me, text me, Send me an email, however you're comfortable, and whenever you're ready. There's no pressure. I'm not going to force you to make a decision you don't want. And essentially it'll be like talking to a friend, but a friend who's really interested in helping you. So do reach out, and I'd love that opportunity. But until the next time, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you soon.